Alright, so there's a view of the Empire since you didn't get to see one last time. Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird to end the video like that. But anyway, let's get back in here and get our settlers back to work. Gotta start getting all my places developed. And it is coming along. It's a long process, and that's why there's several of them, and I'll probably keep adding to them as I go. The thing is, though, it's always nice to have a healthy supply, because if you send a ship back to grab some more settlers, that way you don't gotta wait. You can just grab a couple. Ah, polytheism. You are beautiful. Because now I can make elephants. That makes perfect sense to me, I assure you. Uh-oh, barbarians. Well, let's attack barbarians with our triremes. Triremes are not good attacking units at all. I'm amazed even that it was allowed that one killed 2 barbarians. Because barbarians are weak by nature, but those ships suck. They really do. As soon as I can, I'm getting rid of them. And the next one would be caravels. I can hardly wait for caravels. They're going to be nice. Well, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, and someone's going to correct me. Oh well. Amazingly enough, we saved that dude's life, though we probably could have handled 1 barbarian. And I'll send that injured ship back to a port and let it heal up there, and we'll worry about the rest later. Hopefully that Legionnaire fares better with that hut. And look what we found in that hut. You might be saying, Brian, did you just find university, the concept of university, sitting in a hut in the middle of like a forest? Yep, I did. Makes perfect sense to me. And honestly, if you question it, you're a communist. Which isn't a bad thing. As I've already said, communism is kind of useful in this game. But in real life, communism bad. Apparently. Not that I'm saying I like communism, because I don't. But still. Now that I've talked myself completely into a hole and kind of hurt my head a little, let's move onwards and upwards here. Narrator. Building yourself temples. When will you learn? Well, I guess he has learned. The religion is the way. Man, I'm taking cracks at everything today, and not very well. Now, there's a courthouse. Courthouse decreases corruption by 50%, so say you're losing 4 on taxes and 4 on science, you'll only lose 2 on taxes and 2 on science. It's very useful, and in democracy, you'll actually get a happy citizen instead of a content one. So that's really nice to have with a democracy. The thing about corruption is, the further you get away from the capital city, the worse it gets. Oh god, he's dead. Say bye-bye to that Legionnaire. He's toast. Toast a la ghost. Like, super toast. If he survives like 5 of those guys, I'd be shocked. Actually, no, he only has a defense of 1. He survives 3 of those, I'll be shocked. Barring, of course, him becoming a veteran. That changes things quite a bit with barbarians. Veterans have some pretty good chops. That horseman's going home. He's no longer of any use. Because there's no way barbarians are going to show up now that we've got the whole island populated. Uh-oh. Japanese. Now here's what's going to happen. Every time a civilization talks to you, they say, give us something. But since I have the Great Wall, I can say no without worry of them declaring war. Yes, they'll declare war over you not giving them a technology. But what you can do is, when you first meet a civilization and there's no ill will at all, you can exchange stuff. And that's why I've been ignoring certain things like wheel, ironworking. Construction's a decent one. I'm surprised they had it. But I'm ignoring those so I can get those. Now, that area I just circled, the 3 little staffs, the more of those that are filled in, the more likely they are to like sneak attack you and screw with you because they don't like you. And it usually starts around 3. And it'll quickly get to 5 or 6. And once it hits 6, though, it's pretty tough. They'll pretty much, declare war on you constantly and be real pains in the ass. So I normally try to avoid contact as much as possible to avoid that problem. Because war, for the most part, is not very productive unless you're really willing to sink your whole economy into it. And that hurts your science. And right now, we just want to build such a technological advantage that they can't do anything about it. And Big Wimpley gets to take on the new continent. Good to see. Big Wimpley will be the staging area for that continent. So what else we got? Oh, the Japanese, or anyone who lands like that, they're not going to remove their guy despite saying they'll withdraw them. So go in and say remove your troops or demand a tribute. They'll immediately remove the troops. But it only works for a while. Eventually they'll take that as an insult and start a war. Yes, if the real world worked like Civilization 2 did, man, we'd be screwed. There'd be wars all the time, instead of just most of the time. That's right, I took a shot at war. What of it? What of it, I say? Oh well. Now what? Oh yeah, so looks like we got a little island right there on the development, which should be good. That horseman got our settler almost ready to go, which is good. So it wasn't a settler, that was a horseman, it was a trireme, my bad. So I guess that hurt trireme is used for production instead. That's another thing, I often change my mind, and I often don't know what I'm trying to do with this game, because I record these then redo them later. Interesting. Uh-oh, the Greeks have nearly completed their great project, the Oracle. And even though the Oracle is one of my least favorites, because all it does is double the effects of temples, and it doesn't last that long, being a score whore, I want to get every single wonder of the world. So I disbanded the phalanx there to try to buy it, but I still didn't have enough. So then I sold my library out of the city, and then I bought it. Then I'm leaving 43 gold left over. So basically, if they can switch to another wonder after this, I'm going to have to sell like all my temples and then buy the next wonder, because for some reason it doesn't build for them next turn. They have to wait another turn. And this is why I love Civ 2. You can exploit the hell out of stuff. And you say, but Brian, that's cheap. Yeah, so? Oh, looks like the Japanese attacked that barbarian ship and lost. I mean, that doesn't explain how bad triremes are. I don't know what does. And see, now that we've got the double effective temples in place, Peter Al-Nini's crew will stop getting mad, and they're going to start working again, which is nice. Now, that appears to be another island, but it's hard to say. You'd be amazed at what you think is by itself and eventually connects up with one you're already on. You can get some pretty spindly stuff, but so far I think I've done a pretty good job of avoiding such problems. Well, I'm starting to spread out every... Who are you kidding, horsemen? Come on. That's another thing I didn't mention. Pikemen have a double defensive advantage versus units that have more than one movement point. So, elephants, chariots, horsemen, stuff like that, they have double defense. So they already have a defense of 2, but it gets up to 4. If they're fortified, it goes to like 8. If they're in a city, it's like 16. And if they have a wall in place, it's like 48. So they can be very powered up at a city against anything that's mounted. And the thing about mounted stuff is they tend not to have good defense. Great attack power, poor defense. So that's why if I ever go to war, you'll see a lot of single movement units. It's slow moving, but it's effective. I will bring a few multi-movers with me now and then, but we do what we gotta do. So let's see now. Oh yeah, I'm gonna clear a little bit of the sea off there with the trireme. You never know what you'll find. Tropic Cow is going to have to share a couple spaces, but, you know, maximizing my city totals. What can I say? 100 gold. I need that after spending all that money. An RD runner giving me some settlers. What about now? Engineering. This is great. King Richard's Crusade will give an extra resource shield to every square. So say you have 8 people in your city, you'll get 9 extra production. 8. 1 for each person and then 1 for where the city is set up, because you always get that 1 extra. So you can build a lot of stuff in the city that gets King Richard's Crusade. The only problem is it doesn't last super long, because as soon as you get industrialization, you lose the effects of King Richard's Crusade. So you may see me avoiding industrialization for a while that one city builds a ton of stuff, because you can just pump wonders out. You get a production value of like 16 to 20, you know? And stuff that costs 400 shields you're getting in 20 turns. That's crazy. So good. So it's a good one to really pump up a city partway through. And Kaiser 061 joins the fight. Now what are we doing here? It appears that I am going to walk into a river. Perfect. Oh, thank God that guy finished when he did. That barbarian kind of snuck up on me. We'll just wait right there. Oh, way to go, Mushy. You finally did something right. First time for everything, I guess. And yeah, we're still doing okay, making 15 per turn. That's not going to last, because once we start building some more expensive... I tried to build roads over a bridge again. Or over a bridge. Try to build a bridge over the river. You need to have bridge building before you can do that. But I always forget, so you'll see that message from me a few times. And they can happen earlier as well. Silly, silly me. And I think I thought I was going to get 2 cities on that island, but clearly I'm not. I don't know what I was thinking when I built that one. I probably should have built on the far side of the island and got more land into the city's radius, because land is better than ocean. Ocean doesn't get as much resources. Yet I built along the water so much. Go figure. What can you do when you live in a shoe? I don't know. We're going to build there probably. It's a perfect setup. And Bitterbread gets the call. I've seen worse cities, honestly. And I guess I'm going to go try to help out finish off Peter L90's improvements. But there's no improving on Peter L90, am I right? Am I right? Getting along here, starting to come along, getting close to the birth of Christ, but that's the way things go. However, I think we're at an end of the video, so let's check out the Empire and our way out the door.